こまだ鍵っていうかあれになってんのかな。こっち行けんのか。
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories.
すげえ。
Edie
こ
would
っから
have,
見えんだ。
but mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
で、ここ入ると。
I spent a lot of time in Great Grandma Edie's room. We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom. People, Sven was killed by a dragon. She could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
なんか嫌だな、記念っていう言い
The room
方。
was like a museum.
博物館みたいな感じ。確かに。おお、かわいい。なんだこれ。
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune
あ、そうなんだ。
and misfortune.
あ、それが書いてあるだけ。こっちはなんだ。どっちから先に入った方がいいのかわかんない。ここ入るか。おお、もふもふしてそう。
Only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. Big trace.
これさっきのとこだよね。違うかな。いや、違うか。さっき覗けてたけど、覗き穴みたいなのないから違うか。なんかさっきのとこに雰囲気似てんな。は、カエルの置物みたいな。こんなさ、一人ずつさ、なんかね、ちゃんとバスルームあって、すごいね、本当に。まあ、お金持ちって言ってたもんね。お、また鍵開けられた。シークレットってバリバリ書いてあるけど。
There's a secret in this bathroom.
秘密が隠されてる。
It's in the last place you would look.
何これ。
It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
この部屋はなんだ。この部屋というかこの家はなんだ。どういう場所なんだこれ。こっちは。
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
何これ、アトリエみたいな。これどういう場所なのこれ。下行くのかなこれ。また張っていくのか。何に繋がってんだこれ。よいしょ。ああ、これさっきの場所だ。そうだよね。あ、そうだ、やっぱ。なんか覗き穴で覗いてるときよりちっちゃく感じんな。
Grandpa Sam had a twin.
何この仕切りみたい
And
な。
that he never talked about him.
なんかいいなぁ。この家、すごいなんか問題あったのかもしれないけど、あったかく感じるわ。
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
いいね、この秘密基地みたいなとこ。めっちゃいい。かっけえ。なんだこれ。
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
おお、ブランコ乗ってる。揺れまく
My
るのかこ
brother
れ。
said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
まあ俺もマッシュルームあんま好きじゃないな、でも。わかるわ。
At Barbara's funeral,
お、すげえ
he
行くじゃん。
swore we'd never be afraid again. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
飛びたがっていた。飛ぼう。
But
お
that
腹
day,
すいた。
he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
一周って怖くない？
Maybe if I hadn't said that,
やばいやばいやばい、いけちゃういけちゃういけちゃう。おお。
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
やばいな、これ。
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
タワーオブテラーのゾワゾワやばいでしょ、これ。大丈夫これ。俺。ああ。
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he didn't.
綺麗なんだけどなんか。
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
みんな思ってるみたいな、ちっちゃい時は飛びたいって。もう俺まだ思ってるけどね。大学生にもなってまだ飛びたいと思ってるけど。
Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
18歳で入隊。すごいすごい。なに文字が立体になってたんだけど今。おお。開けるわ。隠し扉みたいな多すぎでしょこれ。すげえな、なんか主人公がいつも張ってるよ。もう
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller
なんでこっ
hands
ちも
than Ellie's.
あ、こっち行くか。よいしょ。いや、こっち行ってみよう。首ない。何これ。
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
ギターもあるね。すげえ、ここに繋がってんの？ただの箱だと思うよね、こんな。あ、こんにちは。
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
あ、これか。
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
まあ、有名人だったら自分の家族の死についてなんか言われそうだよね、いろいろ。
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream.
悲鳴で知られていた。
Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been.
そんななんかひどい言い方する。
Break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
ガチな叫び声じゃん
That
もう。
was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
なんか音楽がすごい
You're right!
怪しくなっ
Also,
てきた
I
な。
loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box.
もうあったね、さっき。
Secret is to keep winding and winding
え
until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned.
これ絶対後でやんないといけないですよね。
Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
この漫画面白くない？
The music box.
うん。どうしたんだ？あ、俺がやんのこれ。回し続ければいいんでしょ。
The key. She listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
うん。ああ、ここ開けらんなかったのか、もともと。ん？あ、これ俺が降りんの。やばい、なんか。
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
こっち行けんのか。うわ、血ついてんじゃん。怖っ、何あれ。
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family
気
10
持
years
ち
ago.
悪いんだけど、なんか。なんだお前。いや、マジで怖いんだけど、なんか。おら。んってどこ行けばいいんだ？こっちは行き止まりか。こっち行けばいいのか。集団のリーダー。
Rattled.
家族を突き刺し食べた。カニバリズムじゃん、やば。え？ おー。
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
あ、なるほど
I'm
ね。
not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out. But she
最後まで聞いてやれよ。
to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later,
うん。なん
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there?
だ？
Okay, I'm coming up. But if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
何また行くの？なんかさ、あそこに人体模型みたいなのあるけど何これ？なんかすっげえさ、顔つき悪くないこの頭蓋骨。あれ？で、なんかしかもこれ目になってるし、すごいな。なんてこっちじゃないか。上？こっちか。すごい。出た、こういう椅子。これ欲しい。これめっちゃ面白そうだ。おら。なんだこれ。どこ行けばいいんだ？さすがにここ登るわけじゃないもんね。いや、いいのか、こっちで。こっち行って上へ上がればいいのかな。なんか BGM が、はっ！びっくりした。BGM がなんかちょっと、なんかあれだよね、推理ドラ、安っぽい推理ドラマのあれみたいになってる。
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished.
消えてた。
Sound radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
いや、片方の手鍵爪になってるってやばいだろ。
Returned, saw the hookman,
なんか
and
いたわ、本当にそういうやつ。
was speechless. He was quite smashing.
おお、
Was
大丈夫か？
get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara.
何、バーバラのファンってこと？
Another way out of here.
抜き道を探すの。なんだこれ。怖いなこれ、ちょっと。抜き道、ここ？あ、ここか。さっきのとこだ。
That night, she played her part beautifully.
で、お、これあれだ。モリーの部屋だ。これ扉開けんのか。
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
あ、ウォルター置いていけない。それどうすんの？モリーの、これ出んの？
Hadn't been opened in years.
おー。
Hinges grown.
いえ、やっちまえ。おら！
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
フラグやん。あ、下行くのこっちか。よいしょ。おらおら、なんかちょっと来そうだから。は？
Had vanished.
消えていなくなったじゃねえよ。
His breathing, but all she heard was
え？ねえ。いや、そもそもさ、こっから消えていなくなるってもう、何？こっから行ける場所とか限られてるやん。
was dying to speak to young Barbara.
なんだこれ出ないといけないんだよ。これ絶対危ねえやつじゃねえかよ。
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
家の中？
Oh dear.
積みました。
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true.
めちゃくちゃいい話じゃん。
She saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life.
え？
I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
やば。
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
めっちゃ楽しそうに笑うやん。おお。なんか気分悪くなった
Maybe all
な。
Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
バーバラの部屋はこれで終わりか。そしたら次あれか。ここ戻ればいいのかな。いや、ここ開けられるこれ。いや、開けられないっぽいからこれ戻るしかないのか。ここ戻って、さっきのとこに出ればいいのか、じゃあ。
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
なるほどね。そういうことか。俺さっきあれ、普通に、回しまくってたら、地下のあれゲットできたのかもね。わかんないけど。なんだこれ。
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
へえ。じゃあ結構前？
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
有名人だったんだもんね。あ、これはもともとさっき行けなかったとこか。じゃあ地下行けってことか、これあれ引っ張って。そういうことだよね、多分。じゃあ順番的には良かったんだね。先に上行っといてよかった。回しますか、じゃあ。よいしょ。ここでやめないで。初見で引っこ抜きたかったな、これ。おお、ほんとすげえ。で、ここに行けると。 します。